Hello, and welcome to the Audubon Society of Rhode Island's iNaturalist workshop. My name is Mike Perrin, the TerraCorps Land Stewardship Coordinator with the Audubon Society of Rhode Island, and I will be leading your workshop today. Today, we will cover how to submit observations and join projects in iNaturalist, and how to collect data with the Audubon Society of Rhode Island. I will walk you through the homepage of iNaturalist, show you how to upload an observation on a mobile device and a desktop, and explain projects and umbrella projects, which can be used to provide research-grade data to our wildlife refuges. So, what is iNaturalist? From their website, iNaturalist describes themselves as one of the world's most popular nature apps that helps people identify plants and animals around them. It gets people connected with a community of over 1 million scientists and naturalists who can help you learn more about nature. What's more is when you're recording and sharing these observations, you're actually creating research-quality data for scientists working to better understand and protect nature. In summary, iNaturalist is a global citizen science project where users share observations of all different taxa, with iNaturalist assisting in these identifications. These observations teach users about the natural world while contributing useful data to research projects and acting as personal record. This diagram shows the general workflow of iNaturalist. The user takes a photo of the observation, shares it to the larger iNaturalist community. The community then discusses what the observation might be, specifically what the species is, and once this is agreed upon, it's considered research-grade data. When in iNaturalist, you will be able to use a few different features: Explore, Projects, People, Forums, and Journals. The first two, Explore and Projects, are the most useful. The Explore feature allows you to search for different taxa within a certain boundary. So you can see here I've set the boundary for Rhode Island, and a bunch of observations pop up. I would like to know where people have been seeing northern parulas. And now I want to know where people have been seeing wood warblers. And now I'm being less picky, and I'd like to know where people have been seeing birds in general. And all of these observations pop up under the Rhode Island border. Under the Community tab, you can search for projects. Projects are a collection of observations with set parameters on taxa, location, or time. You can search for a specific taxa, location, or organization. Here I search for projects tagged with Rhode Island. You can see a few Audubon Wildlife Refuge projects appear, as well as various bioblitzes conducted around the state. You may be asking yourself, so what? Why should you care? iNaturalist is an important citizen science tool for conservation and education. It helps to collect research quality data. It connects people to the natural world. It engages audiences with tech interest and audiences that lack available resources, and it is a fun, passive way to keep records of personal observations while in the field. Now for the fun stuff. When uploading an observation to iNaturalist on a mobile device, you will first take a photo of what you are observing. Try to get this photo as clear and close as possible. iNaturalist will then suggest an identification for your observation. If you are not confident on the species ID, leave the observation as a genus or family and let an expert weigh in. On smartphones, photos are typically geotagged, meaning they have the location, time, and date saved with the photo. If this is the case, submit your observation. If your photo is not geotagged, you will have to enter the time, date, and location manually, though you must zoom in on the map instead of searching a location, which can be rather difficult. Once submitted, you will wait for another user to comment on your observation, and once they do, this will become research-grade data. Here is an example, and I promise you that Audubon has gotten our stats up since this video. You can see that I open the app, take a photo of the plant, getting close and clear as possible, and wait for iNaturalist to offer some suggestions to explore. Since I know the species to be American pokeweed, I select this suggestion, leave a comment, and upload my observation. This will be stored in my observations and on the iNaturalist database for research purposes. Submitting an observation on a desktop is very similar to submitting on a mobile device. You will take a photo of your observation in the field using a camera or phone, log into iNaturalist on the desktop, click Upload or Add Observation on the home screen, and select a file. You can also drag and drop. iNaturalist will then suggest an identification, and you will select the identification you are most comfortable submitting. If the photo is geotagged, submit it. If it is not, you must add the time, date, and location before submitting. Adding a location is much easier on a desktop than on a mobile device. Once submitted, you will wait for another user to comment on your observation, which then will become research-grade data. Here is an example. After signing in, I click Add Observation or Upload. I then drag and drop the photo I would like to add as the observation. I want to test out iNaturalist's ability to identify a tough photo, so here is a Nashville warbler skulking in some shrubs. You can ID this bird from the complete white eye ring, gray head, yellow throat, and yellow belly. Impressively, iNaturalist suggests the right bird, but also provides the family as well for a more cautious ID. I then enter the date and time and choose the location, which then brings me to a map. I can search for my location and drop a pin on the area where I observed the warbler. You can make this pin small or large. It was between the first and second field, so I can see where that would be on the satellite imagery, so I drop the pin there and make a note of that. I then submit this observation, which is saved to my account in the iNaturalist database. Lastly, we will talk about projects. Projects are a collection of observations with parameters set by the project creator. These parameters include taxa, set time frame, and/or location. The location can be defined on various levels, including country, state, or wildlife refuge. Establishing certain parameters will define the objective of the project. You can also include info to the project page to let users know your objective. Project examples include wildlife refuge observations, state observations of a species of concern, or observations during a 24-hour bioblitz. An umbrella project is a collection of these specific projects. The umbrella project creator can add individual projects to be counted towards the umbrella project, which then displays the overall observations from these individual projects. Umbrella projects can be used to show observations across multiple wildlife refuges, show data on multiple animals of interest, and display observations from a reoccurring event. As I mentioned before, you can search for projects under the Community tab. Here, I search for Audubon's Claire D. McIntosh Wildlife Refuge. Once at the page, you can scroll through recent observations, species observed, identifiers, and observers who have submitted data to this project. In the About section, you can see the creator, read a quick bio, and see the parameters set for the project. The project collects all observations within the refuge boundary. Now to an example of an umbrella project. You can access your projects by clicking More, going to Projects. You can see I've selected the umbrella project Audubon Society of Rhode Island Wildlife Refuge Observations. In the About page, you can see the creator, some info, and which projects have been added to create the umbrella project. The projects added to this umbrella project are all 14 Audubon Wildlife Refuges, and observations can be viewed all together by recent observations, species, identifiers, and observers. In summary, iNaturalist is a free, community-based citizen science platform that also assists with the identification of different species. iNaturalist is a great way to learn and engage with the natural world while also collecting useful data. Uploading observations is really easy in the field or at home. Join and create projects and umbrella projects to collect and highlight specific data. And uploading observations to iNaturalist in the field is passive, fun, and easy. Thanks again for tuning in to the Audubon Society of Rhode Island's iNaturalist workshop. I hope that you will use iNaturalist while out in nature, and especially while out at our biologically rich wildlife refuges. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me via email at MPerrin@asri.org, also provided below. I hope to see you out on the trails.